from username Hawkeye in Nebraska. Subject, concerned future dad. Best CFB pod out there, and there's no debate, even with the roster changes. RIP Barton. Again, he's not dead. I would be lying if I said I didn't go back and play a few Locks pods during the off season just to hear that jingle and feel the rush of college football betting. Love this. Shout out to you, Tom. You had me at Wonder. Represent the Big Ten in a sea of ACC guys, and then show some love for the Hawkeye helmet. Let's go. My wife and I are Iowa grads and avid Hawkeye fans living right over the border in Omaha. Boo, Nebraska. We are expecting our first child in August and are not finding out the gender till birth. My question to you is, do you allow your kids to choose their favorite sports teams on their own? Or do you infuse your favorite teams very early on to ensure they don't stray from the pack? DK, I can imagine your girls decked out in Knowles gear, even down to the little cheek tattoos every Saturday. I can't imagine my child getting misled into the dazed and confused Husker tribe stuck in the 90s, worshiping the legacy of Tom Osborne and Scott Frost, parentheses, the player, because of that's what's popular. Gentlemen, this is why I'm reaching out to you today.
Well, you two have kids. I'll let you take the floor here first.
I love it. It's awesome. I'll say you got to start them young. I didn't go over the top because I have all girls with the Florida State stuff, although we had a bunch of people give us cheerleading outfits. No offense to cheerleaders, but I was like, I want ballers. Like, I want, like, if you give me a Florida State golf shirt, she'll wear that. We had football jerseys. They wore the football jerseys. And no offense, if they want to be cheerleaders, we'll have them be cheerleaders. But I was like, I want them to be ballers. But I have 3 daughters. Now, I haven't experienced it yet, but I feel like 13-year-olds give me a little attitude lately. Like, she's kind of coming into her own. There's always going to be that one kid who's probably just going to be a Gator fan or a Canes fan, just to be that kid that's going to fight you with everything, that kind of real stubborn, hard-nosed, like thick-headed. That might be my oldest and may not, because she's actually still sticking with Florida State stuff. But what's hard is when you live in a state like I do, like I live in South Florida now. When they were younger, we'd have friends when they were like 2 or 3 would pay them like $2 or $3, $5 to say, go Gators, or something. They would try to brainwash them, which I'm sure people can understand if you live in a state where there's in-state rivalries. But I've done a pretty good job protecting them. And I took them to the Rose Bowl, which was actually tough because I took them to the Rose Bowl when Florida State got beat by Oregon. It wasn't close. And they felt a little overwhelmed because it was 90% Oregon fans, because that was the year after Florida State had just been in LA for the national championship game. It was the semifinal. So it was like, if you're going to go to one trip, wait for the repeat. So there was nobody there from Florida State. So they were kind of like, where are all the fans? Like, where is everybody? But yeah, they're still on the Florida State bandwagon as we speak. It's very tenuous though.
Much like a father who is prepared to get way too involved in recruiting and break some NCAA rules, my son's early fandom interests are available for bribes. If whoever is taking, whether it's a grandparents, whether it's uncles or cousins or, family friends, whoever's got the tickets and is showing up with the experience, that's going to be what's in the lead. Like, that's going to win. And it is right now probably a showdown between NC State and UNC. Got family members coming from both camps. Covering college football, there's a limited amount of hanging out at the game that I can do. But, if you want to come and offer tickets to my son, then yeah, you're probably going to get a little bit further on down the road to getting his commitment of fandom. When it comes to the forcing fandom, I'm probably just coming hard with the Carolina Hurricanes. That's all.
See, I would indoctrinate.
You would?
Yeah. I mean, it's like they're your kid. Have something to share with them. If you're a sports fan, if you care enough about a team, but obviously I think this guy's wife and him do. He's talking about Iowa. Listen to this podcast. Indoctrinate your kid into being an Iowa fan. It's part of the whole family deal. Have him grow up. Now, when he grows up, he might not go to Iowa. He might go to a different college and become a fan of that team and still be an Iowa fan. It's fine. Like I come from a family of Cubs fans, and my sister's a Cubs fan. Her husband's a Cubs fan. Their 3 kids are all Cubs fans. I've bought them all White Sox gear just to troll them a little bit. But my nephew Jake is in Little League, and he plays in a Little League in the suburbs where the White Sox sponsor the league. So therefore, every team in the league is the White Sox. They're just a different color variation of it with the White Sox logo. So he plays for the Green Sox, and it drives him nuts. He hates it because he's a Cubs fan. I hate the White Sox. When I bought him a White Sox hat, he was like, oh, he threw it. He's like, this is garbage. I don't want it. That's fun. Indoctrinate your kids. Make them whatever fans you want them to be. Give them, it's part of the whole family bond. If you're a family that cares about sports, and then when they grow up, they're going to choose on their own anyway. But when they're kids, keep them while you have them.
I got a beef that I need you guys to settle for me because it's gone on for 20, 30 years now.
Awesome.
So I grew up in Fort Lauderdale, South Florida, where I had some buddies who were Hurricane fans. Now I have 2 specifically that I'm referencing that were massive Hurricanes fans, but didn't go to Miami. When I was at Florida State, and we were buddies, like we go back, we played T-ball together. They rooted against me. Like they wanted me to lose at Florida State. And it bothered me because I was like, we are friends. Like that should come before a rivalry. Like you should be rooting for me to succeed. And then when I'm done starting, you can go back to rooting for the Hurricanes. But while I'm here, like I took it personally. Like it's still a little bit awkward, something that irks me the wrong way. Is that acceptable behavior? Like we're talking high school buddies. Like we played baseball together. We go back. I mean, there's history. And it was like, that shouldn't be more important than the rivalry. It bothered me so much.
That's 100% acceptable to me, because I feel like part of the whole male friendship thing is giving your friend crap at every single chance you can give. So like, honestly, like I grew up, the college teams I grew up rooting for, I followed the Big Ten close, and it was Notre Dame because that was just the more popular team in the city of Chicago anyway, with people who cared about college football. So like, had I had a friend who went to Michigan and was playing for Michigan and they were playing Notre Dame, I would totally intentionally root for Notre Dame just to piss them off.
I mean, yeah, it's competition. It's smack talk. Like if it comes,
but it's not like the team. It's me. It's not. It's me. It's your boy. Like
you're
what are we
still
doing?
my friend. I just don't want your team to win. That's all.
What if I get benched and lose my job? Like, what if I don't go to the NFL? Like, this could impact us for life.
I would say that was one thing that changed when I started working in sports. Wasn't that I swore off fandom for any like ethics reasons. I just started meeting people who worked at these universities and they became my friends. And then I was like, oh, well, they're a nice person. They're pretty good. I'm a little bit less involved in hating every single aspect about said rival.
Yes, that's the thing too. It's like I used to hate teams too, and I used to hate schools, and now I just can't do that anymore. It's like, once you see how the sausage is made, kind of like what you're saying, Chip, it's just it's just a bunch of people doing a bunch of stuff, trying to do their best for the most part. I don't want anything bad to happen to any of them.
Yeah, exactly.